of voiceofradio.com, and I'd like you to all introduce yourselves and talk to the people and tell them what's going on over there at BlabberMouth.
All right, this is Amir Salim.
This is Amakut Tayamba.
All right. Good to see you again.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, are you the college student?
No.
You're the one taking the college classes?
My older sister's one.
Older sister.
Classes. But I'm supposed to be next year. So.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 15.
15 years old. You're a young up-and-coming star, young up-and-coming broadcaster. That's actually the title of today's show, is The Future of Broadcasting. So it's an honor to have you in studio today. And you definitely have a good coach with you. Amir is definitely a great guy. He's definitely trying to make some ways and some lanes for the youth. And that's very positive, and that's what we represent here at North Coast Underground and LibraScalesRadio, is positivity. It's hard to find that. That's something that you actually have to look for. It's easy to find everything else because it's right there at your fingertips. So, we're just trying to make some things happen, and I'm glad to have you here on the show today. So Amir, tell the people about BlabberMouth Radio and where they can find it.
Well, BlabberMouth Radio, you can find us every Saturday from 10 to noon on www.voiceitradio.com. You can also join the chat on Mixler. You also could join the panel and call in by accessing us 216-694-8910. Now, BlabberMouth has been in inception since June 1st, and it was a brainchild of mine based on some of the things that I had seen out here in the community. It was developed to give the youth of our community a voice, give them an opportunity to expand themselves, to uplift themselves also. So we've been going strong, like I say, since June 1st, and Amaku, I met her over at Collinwood Rec. One of my other participants isn't here at the moment, meaning Miss Alexis Nunn. She was with me starting June 1st, and that's how I met Amaku. And after meeting Amaku over at the rec center, she saw the value in what we were doing and quickly reached out to me, and we brought her on, and thus subsequently her sister Saket has come aboard. So that's what we're doing, and like I say again, you can reach us every Saturday from 10 to noon on voiceitradio.com.
Okay, so it sounds like a very family-based organization.
So far it is, when there's siblings involved, and let me correct that. We're open, and we're going to be expanding to other demographics, other communities, and things like that. We have some males that came aboard last week, and they're also brothers. There's Carlin and Marlon, Byron, Khalil, Keon. Trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I think those are the 4 boys plus their friend Keon. And they have a sister, Malia, who's yet to be exposed to what we do. But then there's another group that was in the studio with us on June 1st that we recently reached out to, and they have 4 boys in that group as well. So initially we were surrounded by just a couple participants. Now we're growing, and we're going to continue to grow. We're going into some school systems pretty soon, so there's going to be more expansion as far as the population that's operating inside of BlabberMouth.
Okay, I see room for growth with your company, and maybe you could get some grants or something to actually, like you said, get into the schools and open up and set up shop, man.
Well, what's happening on that end, the organization that I run is called By Leaps and Bounds, and By Leaps and Bounds operated out of the Euclid Library probably last, I would say, June through December, and we brought mentors in to speak to our mentees weekly. It happened either on Saturday or Sunday, depending on the availability for the library. And what I saw from that activity is that we were not hitting on all cylinders. We had some more opportunities that we could do out there. So I developed the program a little bit more over the winter, and I met with the ownership of Voice It Radio probably late February, early March. And I was going to do a app version of BlabberMouth, but then I got the opportunity to do an internet version of BlabberMouth. And so we started working on some things probably in April and launched June 1st. So I'm doing my 501c3 right now. which that's going to give us the ability to go after grants and bigger opportunities. So I hope that answers some of what you were saying.
Okay. Yes, it definitely does. And I remember when I was on your show the last time, and you guys actually interviewed me, and then in return, I was able to interview Alexis Nunn.
Yes, sir.
That was cool, man. You know, and that's why I invited you guys in, because I just think that at this point in our careers where we're just starting out and we're all like a community and like a fraternity with this radio, I think that cross promotion is very important.
Yes, it is.
You know, so just glad you guys got to come through.
Well, one thing that I saw, witnessed, and realized early on when I saw you up at Voice of Radio, you were coming on Conversation with Keith and Company, and you were telling us about Friends of the Scales and explaining the bands to us. And, you know, I tell the other members that's in studio with me now, I'm always on the lookout for collaborations and connections. And the energy and the vibe that I got from you immediately was positive, and I wanted to see where we could do things together. And I think if you remember the conversation, I said, you know, I have a schedule. I have to go back and look at my schedule. And what I'm trying to do now and develop is not wait. You know, opportunity is here today, so why not seize the moment? So that's why I'm taking more of a chance and just making it happen. We spoke that day, I think, within the next 24 to 48 hours, we were saying, hey, bro, you're going to come on Saturday if your schedule allows. So then you came on, and one of the treats was to expose you to our group as far as, like you said, you got a chance to interview Alexis. Alexis is just, I mean, she's ready for being interviewed or interviewing someone else. And that's where I'm trying to get most of the people in our population or in our immediate circle, you know, just some exposure. You know, try to stretch them and build upon where they are now. And I never want to try to make someone something that they're not comfortable being. It's all about where they want to go. So our program is a community program, but it's also an individualized program. So as I notice things in individuals, I might pull them to the side and we'll start developing that interest and seeing where we could match other people to them and just help them grow.
Right? Because, you know, everybody has something to offer. You know, as long as you can stay positive, you know, you may have a talent that, you know, at the surface, it may not look like it may be something that can be utilized at the moment. You know what I mean? But you may be good with paperwork, you know, which I may not be good with paperwork. I may be comfortable with the microphone. You may not, but we still got to line up and set up that show.
Right.
So, you know, you can definitely be utilized in that aspect. And that's one of the things they teach us up here. You know, they teach us to just go ahead and try to bring out your best skills and work with the people around you. Like today's show was big. Not show, but today's class was big. You know, would you agree?
Yeah, it was huge.
We had a gentleman come in, and we're going through a 30-minute newscast, preparation for a 30-minute newscast.
Okay.
And he has 35 years experience of live broadcasting.
Okay.
So combine him with our teacher today, Miss Pam, that has 30-plus years of live broadcasting. We had over 70 years of broadcasting teaching us today. She has 3 Emmys. I didn't know that.
Right.
She's been my teacher for 2 different classes now. But she never told us that. You know, like the guy, Dan, what's his name, Dan?
His name was Don Mertens. Don Mertens.
I didn't catch his last name.
Don Mertens or something like that.
Don. He wanted to tell the story about her in the Emmys, but he didn't know that a couple of people already knew. So I guess somebody had already mentioned it, and she had to speak upon it before. So only a couple of the classmates knew.
Right.
But like a couple months back, a gentleman from Channel 19, his name is Chris Van Vliet. He's the entertainment.
He does the buzz.
Yes, he does the buzz. He's the entertainment reporter. He came and spoke with us and actually brought his Emmy with him.
Okay.
Got the whole of the Emmy, took a picture, found out we were the same age. You know, we're from different countries. He's from Canada, and I'm from Cleveland, you know, and he got his first job at about 22. I'm going into 30 in October, so I'm looking to get my first job at 30, but we're still at the same place. We're both still trying to go in the same direction. So, you know what I mean? It's positivity and energy to pull from anyone around you. And I try to keep the negativity away.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you're forced to deal and work in certain environments. So one thing that they were talking about today was being professional.
Right.
You know what I mean? So no matter what the circumstance, I know what I come to do and what I'm there for, and my objective is to remain positive. And that's why I go to church. Because I be praying, I need to pray, and I just need the Lord in my life every day because it's so hard to stay straight and fly right.
Yep.
So on that note, we're going to go ahead and get you guys into a commercial, and then we're going to get you into some music. We're going to get you to that beat, Break It Down by Too Mental, featuring Lil Nate. Keep in mind, we have a brand new log today, so the music that you hear, this is all exclusive. I'm not familiar with this music yet, but so far so good, and here we go.
Hey, you've got a log here at northcoastunderground.com, where the